All right, good Wednesday evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the ultimate showdown between leagues. It's a special event tonight on the Zoom Racing League YouTube channel. We have the Zoom Racing League versus the Champs Racing League. Head-to-head competition. We got 10 drivers from each division going to go battle it out on the Jeddah circuit, one of the tightest, twistiest circuits on the calendar. 27 turns, 3.836 miles around. It's going to be an exciting show. I'm PBJ. I'm here with Toto Rivas and Raz. Mr. Rivas, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, PBJ. It's good to have you back. I want to say a big congratulations to you before we get into the broadcast. This dude just finished his degree and is going to be back live with us, ZRL, more frequently. We might hear him in the commentary booth. So right now I'm excited because you were my broadcast partner for all of season 2. You're back for this fun midweek event. This is going to be really cool, and I hope we get to do a whole bunch of these going forward. Champs Racing League's a great league. They run on EU time, so they're different times than the Zoom Racing League. And so with that, we're going to be able to do a lot of cool stuff together because they're not going to interfere. We can all work together and have more fun and grow both leagues together. And man, it's a lot of fun. We've got a new guy in the booth. He's broadcast with you. He's broadcast with me, and we've got one of our favorite Brits here with us, Raz. Thank you for being here with us on this Wednesday afternoon for us, evening for you. What are you looking forward to tonight here at Jeddah?
Well, Jeddah's a really fun track, one of my favourite tracks. We've got a lot of quick drivers in the cockpit, so I think we're going to have a really fun race to watch.
Absolutely. Jeddah is a track that requires full commitment, full send to be fast around. I think all of us are drivers. Most of the viewers probably watching this race are probably also drivers in this game. You know that Jeddah is a track that either you're going to do really well or really bad. There's usually not much place in the middle there to have an experience here. So we are excited for looking forward to an awesome event tonight. And the drivers are on track. We're doing a short qualifying, so 18-minute qualifying session here. It looks like we have a few drivers getting ready to start timed laps. And right now we got Mr. Anomaly from the Champ Racing League driving the Williams tonight. He's on a flyer as he heads through the first complex, turns 7, 8, 9, 10. Keeps it nice and tight back through turns 8 and 9 right here, using all the curb there on the left-hand side. Now he's going to try to flick it back, use a little bit of curb there on the right side as he heads down to the hairpin, turn 13.
This track is so tight, so twisty, so fun. A lot of us were kind of surprised at how well it went last season. We thought the real race, as well as the implementation here in the game, was going to be an absolute disaster in safety car city. And I think we had more safety cars in the real race than we did in any of our divisions here in Zoom Racing League. I'm sure Champs had the same situation over there as well.
We got a few drivers on track here. 6 drivers. Looks like they're on the medium tires right now. Be curious to see what the pit strategy is going to be for this race. We are doing a 50% race, so I think it's about 25 laps, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, maybe starting on the medium tire. Looks like Anomaly, did he back off? No, he's still going. Okay, he's still going. He's still on a flyer, heading down to the final turn 27 on this tight, twisty street circuit. Let's see what kind of time he will set for the rest of the group to beat. As he flies up the start-finish line, using all that deployment. It's a 127.9 on the board for Anomaly. Coming up right behind him here, we've got, I don't know how you say that, Calazurb 88. He's going to go 128.1. Tom Slobin from ZRL is going to put his first time up, 29.4 on the medium tire. Of course, you start in the top 10. You've got to start on the tire you qualify with. We're running last year's regulations here, so might have been a little slipstream right there between the Alpha and the Haas. But let's watch these times come across the board and see who's going to be the early leader for qualifying.
Here's one of our quickest guys in Zoom Racing League, and of course he immediately goes to the top of the timetables. It's Ian. Raz, we saw Ian do this past weekend too. Him and Travis Robinson fighting back and forth for that pole. Both really quick drivers. Ian's always near the top of the timesheets. You've been doing a lot of practice this week, Raz. Is that going to be a quick enough time to hold on to pole, or is Ian got to do a little more work here?
Oh, I mean, it's a lot of difference with depends what pace you are. Like D1 and D2, it's going to be a lot of like different times. But I mean, for me, I think Ian's put a really decent banker lap on him. Probably can improve 3 or 4 more tenths to get in those 126s.
Yeah, we know how fast Ian is for sure. One of the quickest drivers we have. He is definitely full commitment, full send around this track. So it's no surprise to see him on top of the early board or top of the leaderboard early here. So you got ZRL in the pole right now. You got three Champ Racing League drivers. You got Forensic, Anomaly, and Calazurb there are running the second, third, fourth, taking up to the second row. Then you got a stack of ZRL drivers with Razor Senna, Tom Slowman, and Cushy, all with their first laps on the board. I'm expecting we're going to see this shuffle up quite a bit more, though, before we get toward the end of this.
Seeing a whole lot of drivers invalidate their lap here early on. Just of note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers have chosen for the medium tires here. This track does tend to be a one-stop strategy track, so medium's not a bad choice, especially if you think there's going to be a safety car fairly early on, and then you can go medium, medium, soft if you get that free pit stop.
Looks like maybe Zebra Strike may have had a moment on his first run. He's already going back out. He's got 2 laps on his soft tires and not a time on the board, so maybe either invalidated or just backed off of it there. Thermo set us, looks like a little, maybe a, you know, what do they call them? Reconnaissance laps, you know, to get out and kind of make him feel everything out for he sets a flyer. Looks like he's going to come across the line, though, on his second lap, and he's going to go 7th fastest with a 29 flat on the soft tires. You know, Thermo's another fast driver from Zoom Racing League, so we'll see if he can improve as he continues to work this qualifying session.
Jack Fletcher goes P14 there on his first banker lap. It's a 35-2. Not a great lap for Jack. We know Jack really well here in the Zoom Racing League. He was your teammate in ACC, and he's one of those guys that's a lot like you, PBJ. You just put him in something, and he can drive it. I commented earlier today as we're preparing for 12 hours of Sebring on Friday that you could throw that man on a dead mule, and he'd make it fast.
Yeah, Jack's definitely a driver that he'll give you 50 good laps no matter what, and you know, may not be the poles hitter, but he'll be up there in the top 10 all race, and you know, definitely around toward the end of the race as well. Just has that good racecraft to get you to the end. Zebra Strike goes P4 with a 128 flat. Great lap from him.
Really good lap. Ian, just ahead of Forensic. Forensic, also known as Hudson Poole, one of the quickest drivers in CRL. He's hung out a little bit with us in ZRL, maybe done one race, but definitely on pace with our Division 1 guys. And so it'll be interesting to see what he can do there. Reza Senna sitting in P8 in the Ferrari. Raz, let me ask you this. Is it weird for a driver to kind of go back and forth like you're used to driving Aston Martin for us in Division 3? If you have to jump into a Red Bull or a Ferrari, is it different for you? Is it weird because of the engine sound, or is it kind of plug and play?
I mean, when I go and practice, I either go in Merc power cars or just for the Mercs or the Aston Martins, so I can like just get used to the cars. Because normally, if I jump in a Ferrari or a Red Bull, the engine does put me off quite a bit, just the sound of it. Just sounds horrendous, even the Alpine.
I think there's something to be said, too. I mean, I know the cars are equal, but the geometry's different on them, am I right? I mean, I feel like some of them maybe aren't as wide as other ones. Like, I drove the Haas this past weekend, and it seemed a little bit narrower than the Red Bull and the Mercedes used to be, but maybe it's all in my head, but it just felt a little, you know, looked different, which therefore makes in my brain make it feel different. But
And I think you're right. So on paper, they're all based on the player car, and then whoever's the best car. So in this case, right now it was Mercedes and then Red Bull with the update. It's supposed to be based on how that car performs as far as engine performance and dynamics. But yeah, we had the same comment earlier this year. Zebra Strike goes into the pits. Had the same comment earlier this year from Bronson Stafford. He said the same thing when he started driving the Haas in D3 when he was there temporarily. He said it just didn't drive the same, and the fuel consumption seemed weird. And that was coming from the Aston Martin. So there may be some little tiny, I mean, it's Codemasters. There's stuff in their code that's always going to be a little bit goofy. But
Sure. I'll tell you what, Reeves, if you don't mind, can we pick up Victor Diaz? He's on an out lap, and he's getting ready to start his first flyer. And this is another driver that we know is very quick, and he's in the Ferrari. So I want to see what kind of lap Victor can do to get on the board here. I'm going to just throw a dart out there and say he'll probably be top 5, maybe. So that's my prediction. Now that I've said it, he'll probably invalidate the lap, but we give him the broadcaster's curse. But let's see what happens. So he heads down into turn 1. Nice and tight on the left, flick it back to the right, run it really wide out to the wall if you can, get back on the throttle and head up to the next turn here to the left. You got to do full commitment around this wall. It's a blind corner, but it's got a weird exit there, but you keep it tighter on the right side, back to the left, full throttle through here if you've got the stones to do it, back to the left, inside wall, back to the right, touch a little bit of the curb there on the right, and you head down to the hairpin, which is...
and he invalidates.
He did invalidate. Sorry, Victor. Didn't mean to do it, but it was fun to call. So,
Speaking of invalidation, there's Tom Slow Man. Sorry, got a little bit of change in name there. He's also invalidated his lap. Let's see what Quish can do here. Brandon with a decent lap so far. It looks like, oh no, he's up 1.4 on those medium tires. So Quishy not going to do much on that time there. So Raz, it looks like Ian, Forensic, Jack Fletcher moved up to P3, and we missed that. Sorry about that, Jack. We're talking about how quick you were, and you put that mule in gear and got up on P3. Anomaly in P4, Zebra Strike in P5, a pair of McLarens in 6 and 7 with Kalezer and Dream, BKT in 8th, Big Mama Frank all the way up in P9 in the Alfa Romeo. Razor Center rounds out your top 10. So we haven't really seen a whole lot of times coming down here, Raz. Is this kind of where everybody's going to wind up? We've only got 7 minutes left. It's kind of late in the game for any big jumpers here. I mean, we got the bottom 6 not setting good or times at all yet.
Well, I'm just looking at the standings, and I thought ZRL will be coming out more on top, but it looks like it's quite even at the moment, as Big Mama Frank just got purple sector 2. But yeah, it looks quite even. I'm not sure if it's just me miscounting, but yeah, it looks like the Hasses are doing quite well, P1 and P5. But I mean, Victor, and is that Sid? Hi, yeah, that's Sid, ain't it?
Yeah, Sid's on P9. He's on an out lap, about to start a flyer here. Sid is one of them that will occasionally just sit there in the pits and wait and kind of see what everybody else is doing, and then kind of make his decision then. Like, if he sees the top 10 in an area where he can do something on the mediums, he'll wait. But if he starts feeling that danger of getting pushed out of that top 10, he'll go and throw on the softs. I don't know how many laps he's actually done, but Sid, there's a lot of strategy there, and I think there might be a little bit of sobering up in play as well.
Hey, look at the top 6. You've got 3 ZRL, and, well, take it back. Anomaly just pushed his car up to P5. So, yeah, you still got 3 ZRL, 3 CRLs up there. It is very balanced, as Raz said. Looks like Forensic just did a lap and did not improve. You got Callie there in P4, who's on a flyer right now. Watching Dark go out and set his first out lap. So you got 4 drivers down there in the bottom who have not set a time yet, so we don't know really where they're going to end up in the standings. Of course, we're familiar with the ZRL guys just from our experience, but I'm like you, Raz. I'm curious to see how this is going to balance out, because right now it's very balanced indeed.
Not a whole lot of cars out on track. Let's see where Sid's out. He's still about halfway through the lap. Next across the line is going to be Big Mama Frank, but I expect he's going to go ahead and come in the pits and be happy with that. Yeah, he's invalidated his lap. Yeah, he's into the pits here. So wait and see what Sid can do here. Let's check in with Thermo. He is up on his time, a full 3/10, and when he crosses the line, we're actually going to watch Tom's time to see if he improves there. Tom actually goes into the pits, so the AlphaTauri's sitting in 10th and 12th right now, but it looks like Thermo's got something to say about that, and he will be, looks like he should jump Razor here. Razor's an interesting one. Razor's been one of the quickest guys here in Zoom Racing League for a long time. He recently, as Thermo invalidates there through turn 25.
Sorry, Revis, Sid also went to the pits. He must have invalidated on his lap as well, so he's only got one more attempt to get this going, or he's going to start plumb last on the field here.
All right, so folks, if you're watching in the chat, please make sure to give us a like. Go ahead and subscribe while you're here as well. We race on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here on the Zoom Racing League. Today on Wednesday is a special event that we are doing. It is League versus League. It is Champs Racing League versus Zoom Racing League. Here shortly, I will drop the link to the Twitch and to the Discord for Champs Racing League into the chat. We'll do that right after quali. So give us a shout out in the comments. Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be CRL? Is it going to be ZRL? Remember, this is a League versus League championship. Traditional points. So top 10 are the only ones to get points. And there is no teammate here. There is Jack Fletcher and Ian are not ZRL teammates right now. They are Haas and they are Red Bull, so they will be fighting against one another. There is no team orders here. It is every driver and team for themselves, and so I think that's going to be very interesting, because in some of these cases we're going to see people that were or are teammates split up going into this, and we have people from each one of our divisions competing, as Razor Senna, who I said was very interesting, goes into P4. Interesting thing about Razor, he's turning off TC right now. He's learning to drive without traction control, and doing it in qualifying, but using TC in the race. And no TC seems to work for him right here because as he goes P4 and pushes, I'm going to call him Kale, man. I don't know how you pronounce that. Kalezerb. I'm going to go with Kale on that one. PBJ, what do you think?
Yeah, Kale's good. Callie's good. I'm watching Victor right now.
P6.
Victor just went P6 in the Ferrari. That was a very clean lap all the way around. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get around and do another attempt, so that might be all Victor can get out of this Ferrari tonight. But
well,
a few drivers. Looks like Ian's out again, and Jack Fletcher's out again, getting their last runs in. And Thermo's out of the session.
Thermo stuffed it in the barrier. He's going to be stuck at P13 at the very best, and he's got several really fast guys behind him. You got Beamer, you got Stars, you got Hi, I'm Sid. Dark and Novera, we don't know much about, but they wouldn't be here if they weren't pretty quick. So we'll see what kind of times they can set. A lot of invalidations. It's kind of surprising to see 3 people still with no time, but Stars finally sets a time at a 1:32.27. So yeah, we got a ZRL, CRL, ZRL, ZRL. It's a good mix of drivers as far as their finishing order right now in quali.
Let's pick up if we can with Ian. He's trying to improve his lap right now, and I'm curious to see how that Haas. It's like he's still going. Okay, he's still on the pace.
Big Mama Frank out of the session. Looks like he has stuffed it in the barrier in Sector 1.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get as much as they can out of these cars right now, and it's not hard to do, especially in that Sector 1 complex where you're going through those S's.
Here comes Ian across the line. Can he get down into the 126s? We know he's capable. Let's see what kind of time he gets.
Such a nice corner. Late apex, nice and smooth, right up against the wall. Can Ian improve? He does by 600th of a second to go into 127.1s. Great lap from Ian. Can Jack Fletcher respond in the Red Bull as he heads down the back straightaway? Looks like Anomaly's going to come across the line. He improves as well.
Goes P5. Good lap by him. Who's the next McLaren? Here we go. Kale's starting a lap here. So we'll catch back up with him in a minute. Forensic is on an out lap. Is that the Mercedes right there? Yeah, so we got is that Tom coming across next? Tom is invalidated. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, PBJ. Raz, what do you think?
I mean, in the midfield, it looks quite tight. I mean, Kale P6, Victor P7. I think we could see we could have seen a little bit more of Victor, but that'll be it for him. Who is it? Kushi? He's a D3 driver in ZRL.
Here comes Sid. Sid's kept it clean. Time has run out. Last minute heroics. What can Sid do? Currently P19 with no time set. Clean lap all the way across. And Sid jumps all the way up to P8. So I told you, Sid likes to sit there. He likes to wait. He likes to game plan. Try to get in that top 10. And he does it with a P8 momentarily. We'll see who else can come across the line. I think that's going to be it for most of our runners.
Going to push Big Mama Frank down to P11, so he's going to get a choice of tires to start the event on. Here comes Cushy out of the final turn. Looks like he's not on it right now. Zebra Strike's on a flyer in the other Haas. Ian finishes his lap and goes to the pits. Here comes Kale going into the final turn here in the McLaren. Nice late apex, takes it out to the wall on the right-hand side. Can Kale improve from P6? He's 7/10 off the pole. He does improve by 2/10 and goes P3 in the McLaren.
All right, here comes Tom from P14. His last gasp effort in the AlphaTauri moves him up to P8, pushes Sid down to P9. Zebra Strike sitting just inside that bubble in P10. And who do we have next? Jack Fletcher trying to improve his lap here. He's way down his time. Jack's just doing a little slow, cold in lap here. Who's that? Stars. Novera behind him. Let's check in with Novera, who hasn't validated his time. Is Sid doing back-to-back pushes? He is. So Sid moved from P8 down to P9 when Tom went by him. A little traffic in front of him. That won't be a problem as he picks up the slipstream and the DRS. He's going to be our last one across the line with a good time, and we don't know what happened. We're just going to assume he was the fastest ever, that no one's ever gone faster, and Sid is the most amazing driver of all time.
He broke the timing.
All right, so there it is,
here we
folks.
go. Where does Sid go? Sid, there he's P9. So I don't think he improved. That's where he was before, I believe, right? So There you go. Top 10. There's your qualifying results. Ian from ZRL takes the pole by just half a tenth over Forensic in P2. Callie down there in P3. Jack Fletcher P4 from ZRL. Razor P5. Anomaly P6. Victor Diaz P7. Tom Sloman P8. Sid down in P9. Zebra Strike P10. As we get ready for the race.
All right, PBJ, this is your time to shine. What do the folks need to do before the race starts? They need to go and...
Oh, man, it's time to get something cold to drink and a bag of tater chips and sit back and watch this race. 2 leagues going head-to-head. This is fun, man. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out.
Absolutely. Folks, we'll be back in just a second. Keep an eye on the chat. I'm going to link to Champs Racing League's stream and their Discord. And here in a little bit, we're going to get Gibbs in here. Tell us a little bit about Champs Racing League. We are back live here with action in Jeddah. We're joined by Gibbs from Champs Racing League. Man, this was a really great idea. Not really sure how all this came about, but tell us a little bit about Champs, what you guys do. Just here in about 10 or 15 seconds before the race starts. Just a quick overview, please.
Right, thank you. Dr. Rivus, just a few introduction. We're another league. We try to have some fun online and do a great community, same as ZRL for sure. And I hope we have some fun today.
All right, well, we're going to watch the race start here. After we get a couple laps in, everything settles back down, we'll talk to you some more. So thank you so much for joining us, Gibbs. This is going to be a really great race. We're excited. We got a good mix of ZRL and CRL on the grid. And for the first time in a long time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am going to hand off a premier slot to my man, the myth, the professor, Mr. PBJX is going to call the start.
Gosh. Oh my gosh, I can't live up to this hype. So here we go, boys and girls. The drivers are finding their ways onto the grid. Last driver pulling up to the grid now. It's Ian in the Haas. Forensic, I think, in the Mercedes next to him on the front row. Here we go. The lights are coming up. It is Jeddah. It's F1 2020. Drop the clutch. Let's go racing, boys. And we are racing at Jeddah. Looks like Ian got a great start in the Haas on the outside. He's got to cover the inside from Forensic, who's got a nose in there. They are side by side going turn 1. Jack Fletcher does a massive spin for P3, but he's going to push out wide. We are still side by side up front as he head up to turn number 4, I think it is. Turn 4, I don't know. I can't see him. It looks like Ian's going to take the position, so Forensic took it going into turn 1. Ian took it back as we go flying through the S's in turn 1, or first lap.
So not entirely a disaster there, unless you're BKT, and P19 lost out on that big time. 6 spots lost there. Predicted remix. Pit stop strategy is soft to medium or soft to hard. It's going to be a one-stopper for most of these guys, unless they have damage. And if you're Novera, if you're BKT down at the back, you can assume they probably have damage, as they've each lost some time. And we've got a localized yellow flag in the hairpin. Looks like CRL Dark has had a bit of a moment, so we have 3 big losers here at the beginning. But Ian and Forensic absolutely getting after it, and the rest of the field doing their best to keep up.
Forensic is right on the back of Ian right now. He is not pulling a gap, or Ian's not pulling a gap over Forensic. You got Jack Fletcher, who has lost a few positions there. I didn't see what happened, but Jack was up there in P3. Now he's back down in P8. So you got Ian up front, followed by 3 CRL drivers. And what's the strategy here, Ras? Do you? I mean, first few laps, are you in massive attack mode trying to get the positions, or do you kind of ride the DRS train and see how this race plays out a little bit?
I think it has to be the DRS train, you know. I think you have to in the first stint, you've got to like try and keep up with Ian if you're Forensic. But we know how.
Oh no! Oh, CRL and CRL violence.
Ian, so it looks like Jesus. Anomaly went off the inside, and then that caused Forensic to break a little bit late. Or excuse me, it caused Anomaly to break a little bit late. He got in the back of Forensic right there and spent Forensic around. So Forensic drops down to P9. Yeah, everybody just kind of bundled up right there. I think the move on the inside from the Williams, of course, there's no DRS right now, so this is all slipstream, old school passing right now, and it just got his mirrors, but he missed his braking point just a touch. But that's going to be massive for Forensic there. Of course, it's a long race. Safety cars can happen and bring that back, but now you're looking at still Ian up front, who's pulled a decent gap after that, followed by Anomaly, and then Callie there. And then you got a handful of ZRL drivers running up the field here. Wow, that was exciting there going in turn 1. Sorry, Raz, to cut you off right there, but yeah.
That's okay. But it looks like CRL with the C. I mean, they ain't really had the best start. I mean, look at this. Like, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of ZRL, or 8 out of 10 ZRL drivers in the top 10. So this has really gone into ZRL hands right now. So I'm not sure Gibbs will be happy about that, but once again, it's all fun and banter.
Got a yellow in sector 2. Looks like maybe Thermo may have gone around, and I don't know if he got the wall, but he is dropped back behind Novera, who maybe had another incident as well. So DRS now enabled lap 3 of the race. DRS zones are, you know, the front straightaway heading up to the hairpin, and then down the back straightaway as well, or at least heading into the penultimate corner. So let's see if these drivers can be close enough. We got 1.5 seconds between the leader and
Thermo's
second
out of the
place.
race.
Thermo out of the race.
Picks up a 3-second penalty and picks up the barrier for his troubles. So that is one driver out. 3-second time penalty for Kale. Hope we're not saying that wrong. Apologies. Probably should have done a little more research and got to know you guys a little bit better. If you're Ian, though, you're super happy right now because you've got almost a 2-second gap on Anomaly. And then you've got Anomaly and Kale going to be fighting there for P3. And the more they fight, the more Ian can extend that. And then Razor, Jack, Victor, and Zebra all right there tight together can start to, you know, form a little ZRL train with, let's see, who's at the back of this thing? Dream is the caboose in that train, all the way down from P4 down to P12. That is a really tight pack right there as DRS has now been activated on this lap.
Yeah, it's not a bad strategy at all, just to ride the DRS train, maintain the gap. You know, I think Ian's doing a great job of maintaining the gap right now. We got a yellow in sector 3. Don't see who that is. It's been cleared. Maybe someone just missed the corner, but yeah, so you've got drivers here who are, you know, got the DRS train. They're going to run single file for a while. Looks like Big Mama Frank and Cushy just got past. No, Big Mama Frank just made a move on Dream right there, going through the penultimate corner with DRS assistance. Can Dream answer and respond? No, it looks like Big Mama Frank's going to have the DRS head into turn 1, so he's going to hold that position for now and gets back up to the top 10. So.
And unfortunately, with that little move, that little fight, Big Mama Frank has lost out potentially on the DRS in the next zone. He's now 1.2 seconds behind. So his teammate Sid would have to slow down a little bit to help him out as Dream touches the wall and gets a little squirrely through that section there.
He might have damaged his wing right there too. Looks like he's doesn't get a lot of front downforce here. Yeah, that's the nature of Jetta. You know, I mean, you some of these corners, especially the one right there he was just going into, turn number 9 and 8 right there. Those are blind corners, so you got to commit. I mean, to the wall. I mean, that's where you're turning into, is where the wall's at. In that case, he hit his target. So.
Next potential overtake is going to be Jack Fletcher on Razor Senna. He's on the back of Razor right now as Tom picks up another 3-second time penalty. We'll review the penalties here in a lap or two. But yeah, man, this is some really tight midfield racing. While Ian is just off for a walk in the park, picking daisies and minding his own business. Now a 2-second gap over P2.
Yeah, the gap's not growing very fast, but it is growing, you know, about a tenth a lap at this point. Looks like Jack Fletcher's got around Razor right there. Maybe they just keep swapping positions and exchanging DRS to kind of get the gap pulled up, because they're holding the gap to third place. That was 1.7 a couple laps ago. Now it's down to 1.6 as Jack Fletcher's at the fastest lap of the race, and we got a yellow in sector 3 again. Don't know what that was. It's been cleared, but that's down in that turn 22, 23 complex where we saw Mick Schumacher have his accident in the real race last year. I mean, just some of these corners just they'll catch you out, especially if you got a car in front of you. You can't really see your brake marker very well. And these penalties are adding up already. And I mean, again, this is a track that's, I mean, the penalties here are not very forgiving. You know what I mean? If you go over just a touch too far, especially where you're racing somebody, you're pushing the car too hard, it's easy to get those penalties. But man, 5 laps into the race to have 7 drivers with penalties here, they're gonna have to carry that the entire. Now you got 8. You know, 8 drivers with penalties. You got to carry that the rest of the race, and then those don't go away.
Now, keeping an eye on Forensic here. He was up in P2, dropped all the way down to P9 on that accident there on lap 2, or it was lap 3. And so he's slowly picking the field apart, but he's got a lot of work to make up, especially if he thinks he's going to get all the way back up to Ian here. And so get a little ZRL on ZRL battle here. Zebra Strike has already split the Alfa Romeos, and now he's going to work on Sid. We'll see if he can get him here at the end of this DRS zone.
I think these trains are about to hook up, Revis. The 2 CRL drivers, 2nd and 3rd place, just exchange positions there going into the penultimate corner. But that's going to let Jack Fletcher get well within that DRS zone. as they exchange positions again. This time, Anomaly's going to go around the outside, take that position back from Cali there. And Jack Fletcher's right on the back of this train now as well. Razor Senna is over a second back behind him. So Jack got a good lunge right there and broke the DRS from behind, but gained the DRS from in front. So Jack moved his way up. Talk about drivers moving up as well. I think Sid's moved up to P8, and that's a good move for him. Forensics back down to P7 after that spin. I think he was down to 9th as Jack picks up his first penalty. So he's moving positions back up as well. We're going to expect and Forensic, as we say that, goes P6. So keep an eye on Forensic here. He's in that DRS train making moves through the field here. Not content with riding, but he's still got a full battery there to go along with it. He'll probably make his way back up to the front here as Ian continues to hold that gap over Anomaly in front.
Raz, how high can Forensic fly right now? Do you think he can get back up there into the top 2, or is that a too big of an ask right now?
No, he can't. Nah, for being real, yeah. I mean, we can see it right now. He's definitely got the pace for it. I mean, P9 to P6 in like 3 laps. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, it's Jeddah. I mean, you've got to have a lot of focus around this track. I mean, with me, I don't really have focus. I'm going to be absolute rubbish at this. But no, yeah, I think Forensic might have a little bit of a chance to pull back with Ian if Ian can struggle with his tyres.
Look at Jack Fletcher. Sorry,
2 for 1 for Jack Fletcher. If he can hold on to it.
Going 3 wide through the middle. Can he hold it? Oh, the little wheel bang in there going through the turn 3. Looks like Jack's going to hold it in turn 4. So Jack Fletcher gets 2 for 1 right there. Gets probably a warning for his troubles going off track right there too. As now the CRL guys are side by side. They need to sort that out, and they do.
Oh, no.
As Cali. Oh, no. The frame goes around. Razor Sin is out of the race.
I jumped on board just in time, and that has to be a safety car. It is, folks. So there's our first safety car. So if you had one safety car on the vote in the chat, drink because you were correct. There's our first safety car. So we're going to have everybody come around. We're going to have our first round of pit stops for those that haven't had damage yet. We're going to have some tire changes. If you're Ian, where's Ian on track right now? Ian is going to lose all of that gap here to Jack Fletcher. So Razor goes out, advantage to Jack Fletcher and advantage to Forensic, because now Forensic's going to be caught back up with the pack, and he's going to have fresh tires, BBJ.
Yeah, I'd imagine everybody here is going to jump to the mediums. I would guess. I mean, you might still have a little bit of life left on those soft tires, but I would expect at least one more safety car here for the end of this race. So I think it makes sense to maybe go to the medium tires here. Get off the softs, and that you're right. That's going to reset the field. I assume the order may be fairly consistent unless there's some pit stop stacking here. I don't see any double stack potential, but let's see what Ian does. Is he going to stay out, or is he going to dive into the pits? Leader of the race, he's going into the pits, so I think everybody should follow suit behind.
BBJ made the call for mediums, but not so fast, my friend. I think you've forgotten who is on the grid. I want you to look at P7.
Maybe go to the hard.
Sid is the hard tire maestro. Do not be surprised if he did that. Gibbs, if you're still with us, if you want to hop back in here, and we'll take this time to learn a little bit more about CRL. And this is so far this has been some really good racing, and both of the drivers that have gone out are from ZRL, so Zoom Racing League. Man, do we need to change it to the Crash Racing League? So Gibbs, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I agree, a great race and a few incidents there, but it's been fun to watch.
So we've had some pretty good crossover between the two leagues. Have some of our drivers that we've gotten from you because we race at different times, and one of the things that we like to encourage is our drivers to drive in multiple series, multiple leagues, gives them more experience, gives all of us more exposure, and we can work together as a community to grow. How long has CRL been doing their thing, and are most of your drivers Euro-based, or do you have a pretty good mix of European, North American, and other parts of the world?
Yeah, we have a few guys from Europe and North America, and some from Brazil. We had some from South America in general, but now we have more Brazilians from the South America. But yeah, we do the same. We try to cooperate with other leagues, try to contribute more for the community. And that is good for everyone, for the drivers, the players, and the league managers for sure. And this is our third season. Yeah, we're third season, growing slow, but enjoying every race for sure.
Yeah, this is really a fantastic event, Gibbs. I think it's really cool to see the crossover. You know, I liken it to other sports. You know, I'm a big baseball fan, and we have the All-Star game where you bring the two leagues in together and they play head to head. And I love you know, divisional rivalries and interleague rivalries. This is great to watch. How many divisions are you guys running in CRL right now?
Cool. We're running 2 divisions, and we're starting working on a academy division, like ZRL do. We're trying to have some good content in terms of learning, you know, to try to make some experience for the drivers. But yeah, growing every season, and this contribution, this thing, doing a interleague thing is a good thing, I think, for everyone.
Absolutely. I hope we can make it a regular thing, and that's great. I mean, academy divisions. I mean, a lot of times drivers coming in, you know, off of console or PC, I guess in this case for the leagues. But you know, drivers sometimes are a little intimidated by leagues, intimidated by the community. You know, worried they'll mess up or they'll do something. So it's good to have an academy to get people comfortable and understand everyone's here to have a good time, do the race, and you know, just make friends, have fun. I mean, you don't always have to win to do that. Sometimes it's the midfield battles are just as intense, if not more, than what's going on up front. So that's fantastic, man. This is great.
Yeah, that's the goal. Have some friends, make some friends, and had some lots of fun.
All right, Gibbs. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. In the link in the chat, folks, we left the link for their Discord. We also have their Twitch stream. Their Twitch stream is in Portuguese, so if that is your native language, you are in for a treat over there. They have a really excellent broadcaster, and it's really cool to for those of us that don't speak the language to kind of pick up and be like, oh, I know what he said there, because like I'm familiar with Spanish a little bit, and I have friends from Brazil, and so it's like, oh, I know what he's talking about. Oh, that's a cool way to call that, and I think it's a cool thing where we can all learn from each other, and it really, I think. The more international all of our organizations are, the more organically we do that, the more we encourage each other to get to know each other's nations and cultures. That's what international sports all about, is like we can compete and we can say, you know, America versus Brazil, America versus Mexico, you know, Denmark versus the Netherlands. That's all cool in the gang, but at the end of the day, we're all just people, right? And so the more stuff we do together, I think that's better for everyone.
Yeah, well said. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it a lot. And I just want to add that we're doing a giveaway of a iRacing 3 months for beginners. And if anyone is interested, no matter what language you speak, we'll be doing the giveaway at the end. So if you want to jump there after watching here, you're welcome to join us and participate on that.
All right, so go over there, give them a follow on their Twitch. Make sure that you put both streams up side by side. Most of you have multiple devices, you have multiple screens, you have a way to watch both at the same time. Make sure you comment, tell them you came over from the ZRL stream and you're happy to see them. Then stick around for that giveaway. PBJ, I don't know if you know anything about iRacing, but I've heard it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know a little bit about iRacing, and it's different, but it's a great experience. It's depending on what you want to get out of your racing experience from driving at your desk in your house, right? So if you if you enjoy the hop in and drive and you know, fast-paced racing, F1's great for that. If you like a little more methodical tuning the car, work on your lines, and a little more simulation experience, iRacing is great for that. And of course, with this ovals and the road cars, and there's so much content over there now. Plus the special events that I know you know about, Revis, and you know, they do the 12 hours Sebring coming up, 24 hours Nürburgring's coming up, which is exciting. So always fun things to do there, and yeah, get a run on that. Get that promotion if you can. That's a great way to get in.
All right, Gibbs, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you guys putting this on, and hopefully we can do likewise and have you guys as a guest for us one day. So thank you very much. So Raz, any surprises so far for you here?
I'm not on mute, am I? Just double
No,
check.
no.
Oh, we can hear you, brother.
Okay.
You're good.
I can mute you if you'd like.
No. Right, so my biggest surprise is Anomaly P8 or Kushi P10. I mean, not Kushi. Kushi is quite fast, but I mean, against all these drivers, I mean, I know quite a few drivers, like Beam is slow, Tom's quick, Dream is quite fast, but he's really inconsistent in other leagues. But yeah, I mean, I think Kushi's done quite well to be P10 right now, and Anomaly, I mean, P8, I mean, it's quite good for him, but I don't think it'll be enough points for CRL. if they want to win this. But yeah, I think it's ZRL's way right now.
All right, well, the safety car is in this lap as Ian will start to back up the field, and we will get the call from the professor. You can get us started here again, PBJ.
This has got to stop. So here we go. Safety cars in. Ian's going to hold them up just a little bit. Just quick recap after the pit stops. Nobody on hard tires. We got 2 drivers on softs. Everybody else on mediums. And we got a race to turn 1. Jack Fletcher's under threat from Callie, who's also under threat from Forensic. This time, let's see if Forensic can get through without nudging somebody in front. A little bit of McLaren push there, but Jack pushes right back on the left side. And that's going to let Forensic slide right through and take P2. Also, a Ferrari sliding up the left side of the McLaren here. They go side by side, and both overshoot turn 4. That's the normal thing to do there. But we finally get single file and work our way through. Let's get a reset on that. That's going to put Forensic back up to P2. He's recovered all the way. He is right behind Ian. Jack Fletcher P3, Callie down there in P4. Victor Diaz all the way up to P5. And we got a race, boys.
It's like Tom is in the pits. He has broken his wing down in P17. So that is both of the AlphaTauris having a miserable time. His Dream and Callie may have come together. Kale down in P16. He has lost out big time. Just tore his wing off. He's got a long way to go around with no ring around. Dream has also lost some spots here, but does have his wing intact still.
Heartbreak for Callie right there. Is having such a good run. He's going to have to get that service, that McLaren serviced. Let's take a look up front. Let's see if Forensic, he's holding the gap half a second on Ian here. We got 2 laps where we get the DRS re-enabled. Jack Fletcher, I mean, tip of the cap to Jack Fletcher here, keeping up with both these guys and running them down. Victor Diaz right, about a second and a half behind Jack here as he goes side by side. Oh, that's BKT side by side with Big Mama Frank right there. Big Mama Frank's going to take the position around the outside. They're going to run side by side. Got side by side up in front of them there with Dark and Anomaly going to battle in the turn 1. They're going to sort it out by the time they get there. Everybody survives. Good to see. Like to see it. Action all over this track right now. Yeah, that turn 4 is so interesting too, Revis. I mean, and Raz too. I mean, you guys probably know. I mean, going in turn 4, you got just enough room to run your car over the curb between the curb and the wall. And if you get it just right, you'll get an off track. You'll get a penalty. But I think 3 out of 4 times you won't. So we've got a McLaren running wide there. That's Dream. But yeah, I see a lot of drivers doing that, and it's a risky play because you can easily pick up your warnings there and get 3 seconds added to your time if you're not too careful.
Which one is turn 4?
Turn 4 is the left-hander after the first chicane. It's the left-hander around the wall that starts you into VS's.
I mean, they're all the same corner, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. Look at this side-by-side through the fastest S's on the track. I tried that last year in one of the reserve rolls I did, and I ended up DNFing. So these guys did a much better job and got through. Looks like Dark may have got the benefit of all them. He's on the soft tires, though, so he pulled out here. Looks like Zebra Strike's going to try to set up Sid around the outside. He's going to lunge it in there and not going to work it out. Sid's going to hold the position. Back behind him, BKT got to move on Big Mama Frank and the soft tires. So you're going to see the soft tires here move their way up the field, but you can only do that for so long on those tires. But look at Forensic here, right on the back of Ian. Ian hasn't had much threat so far this race. He's had a good, couple second gap, not have to worry about it. But now that DRS is enabled, you're coming up to a DRS zone here. Let's see if Forensic can be close enough to do anything going into the hairpin. Right out on that curb on the right-hand side. No, he's not close enough to do it here, but he's saving all of his battery too. He hasn't used hardly any of that to stay. That's got to worry. I know Ian doesn't know that in the car, but when you got a full battery and DRS half a second behind you, that's usually a recipe for I'm going to get past.
Yeah, it's quite worrying. I mean, how much ERS is Ian on?
Sorry, what's that? Say again?
How much ERS does Ian on? Is he quite low?
Oh no, he's full. He is not using any of his battery to defend here. So Ian at the big advantage. He comes into this DRS zone. So it's back-to-back DRS zones with Forensic still in the back, but he's recharging that battery. Neither one of them using a lot. And I think that's smart. You don't want to deplete all of that battery. You don't have any reserve left. Is CRL Dark takes the spot from Victor Diaz in P5. Victor drops another spot to Sid down in P6. Sid did take the medium tires instead of the hards, and Jack Fletcher just not in room where he can do anything. But
Forensic was on the battery there all the way down the straightaway. Make that move look easy.
Sid takes fastest lap with a 31.028. That's a really quick medium fuel lap. So we'll see if those laps get any faster. Zebra Strike into the pits with damage in P12.
Big wiggle from Forensic out of turn 1, 2, 3 there. Got on the power a little aggressive, but Ian's didn't really pull a gap on Ian there. Used all of his battery down the front straightaway, but Ian's going to tuck in behind. I'm sure we're going to see a pass come back here in just a few corners. So I don't think these guys. I don't think Ian's going to be content with riding in the DRS train. So he's going to. Looks like Zebra Strike went to the pits. Lots of action all over this track. These guys are going to have to string this out a little bit for us to keep up with it here.
All right, our next move we're going to see on track. BKT's been slowly cutting his way through the field. Victor Diaz had a little bit of a moment earlier, lost 2 spots out here, at danger of losing a 3rd one here through this real twisty technical bit here. If BKT can hold on to it, he's got the tire advantage. They got the same tire wear, but those softs are still really strong for another 5 or 6 laps here. Raz and DRS zone, he might just get him on the exit.
I think we need to pick up Ian real quick. That gap's going down really fast up front, Revis. Don't know. Looks like, oh, he's right. He's going to lunge it around the outside. There's also a Jack Fletcher peeking around for 3rd place right there. So Ian's going to tuck in behind, keep the DRS for the front straightaway. Let's see if he gets into the battery. I don't see him lighting it up just yet, but he doesn't need to with that DRS. Is he going to make a move up the inside? Where's Jack behind all this? It's hard to see, hard to tell. Looks like Ian's going to hold station for now.
I think if you're Ian, one of the things I talked about Ian with the race on Sunday, he and Victor both kind of knew that Lee Hall had that penalty, and so they were content not to really fight too hard to overtake. And so right now Jack has that penalty, so he has to get in front of all these guys. He's got to make that gap back to Dark bigger to negate that penalty and keep this podium. And so he and Ian, I think we're going to see them here for about the next 5 or 6 laps, just content to stay with Forensic and then make a big push there at the end.
I'll look further back, but Dark and those soft tires is almost caught to the back of this train as well. Further back in the midfield, you got some nice battles going on back here. Like Big Mama Frank's really close to Beamer, and BKT's pretty close. You got some pretty tight battles around the track right now. So Raz, if you're running the soft tire right now, I mean, you know you can't make that thing all the way to the end, but do you think the mediums can go all the way to the end at this point? Was that pit stop maybe a little bit too early?
I think the mediums can actually hold out. Was it lap 7 that the safety car came out and they all started pitting?
Yeah, I believe so.
So that's already 8 laps, I'm pretty sure. Mathematics there. 8 laps on the mediums already. I think they could do another 10 laps. I think they can last around 22 laps if I actually remember from last night's practice. But I think Dark has actually done the wrong strategy. If he wants to get up on the podium, I mean, he's right behind Jack Fletcher now, which Jack Fletcher should be kind of worried. But I think Dark's tires are going to drop off quite soon. I mean, it's going to be sooner or later, but I think he's got to start pitting maybe in the next 4 laps and just see where he's going to come out.
Yeah, if you're Jack Fletcher at this point, I mean, if you know he's got to pit again and you don't, you might just want to let him go. But again, it's easy for us to look at the big picture here from our position and see that. So we got a yellow in sector 1. Looks like it may have been an Alpine around or a Williams.
Looks like a Williams.
Yeah, it sucks being colorblind, Raz, but thank you for that. Appreciate it. It was a Williams indeed. It looks like Anomaly may have done something back there. So, yeah, so Jack Fletcher up front here, he's lost. Well, he's like he's back in the DRS now, actually. But Dark's also in the DRS for him. So these guys are running a little DRS train. And still really anybody's race. 10 laps to go here. And the other thing, too, though, I mean, a lot of those medium tire laps were done under the safety car. I think they had at least 3 of them done. So you got that little bit of added grip from not, running that many laps, so to speak.
All right, let's see what kind of move Ian can make here. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream. He's within 1/10, and I think PBJ, he's just going to be content. He and Jack both to just kind of sit here behind Forensic and kind of battle it out here at the end. Dark keeps closing up that gap, but he's getting towards the end of the useful life on those tires as he bumps the wall on the inside there, bumps the wall again. That's got to be a little bit of wing damage, and that is going to be his push done, as now he's dropped almost a second and a half back from Jack Fletcher. Jumped on it at the perfect time as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, so all that work for naught. He's going to have to go in the pits probably and get some service on that front wing, and probably go ahead and get off of those soft tires.
I think those are the two most dangerous corners on the track, in my opinion. Turn 4, that left-hander, and then the other one on the other side of the track, turn 22, is basically the same thing, but a lot faster. But yeah, you're right. Sitting in the DRS train, Revis, I think, with 10 laps to go, is it really worth pushing just to get past again? Because they're going to come right back at you at this point. So just go ahead and run your laps. Do your just get the laps on the board. We'll see what happens here. Terrible there for Dark, though. He worked his way all the way up to the top 4, just caught the wall right there, and that's all you got to do at this track, man. It gets you quick.
Well, good news if you're BKT, you just picked up 2 spots there. Quishy went off and somebody else was slow, and now he's going to pick up another one as he is going to attempt to dispatch Sid going around the outside at the end of the DRS zone into the hairpin. Stays outside, wheel to wheel, and he's behind him, gets a really good exit. Sid also gets an exit, but he's going to have the advantage of the double slipstream. They both have the DRS on Victor Diaz, so is Victor Diaz going to lose another couple spots here? Victor is at a big disadvantage as Sid goes down the inside, barely holds on to it. They all stay on the track side by side, and here comes BKT right up the back of him, and Sid actually loses out on this, and BKT is going to take that spot and suck up to the back of Victor Diaz in the Ferrari.
Yeah, that's just one thing about this track, is it just, for some reason, that last turn feeding onto the front straightaway just feeds cars on top of each other by the time they get to turn 1. Usually we see 3 wide battles there all the time. Great feature of this track. One of the favorite things to race at, because it's you never know what's going to happen. Jack Fletcher picked up another penalty, so now he's at 6 seconds. He's doing everything he can here to keep up with Ian, as Forensics pulled out a nice little gap here. So I wonder if you're Jack, I wonder if you're maybe getting held up by Ian here a little bit. Do you want to get around him and try to get that gap closed back up? Because Forensic right now is pulling out a pretty good...
Oh, and Ian just lets him by, just pulls off to the side.
Yeah, they let Jack go. I wonder if Jack maybe has a little bit more pace right now on those medium tires. But he's got 2 seconds up the road to find out, so keep an eye on that interval here as Jack Fletcher tries to run down Forensic for the lead of this race.
Trying to get a good view here on Ian's front wing. I wonder if maybe that gap is in part because Ian's got damage. We'll wait and see. He goes into the pits here. That would certainly explain a 2-second gap in the matter of a lap and a half. And Ian does go into the pit, so he does have damage. So smart there to let Jack through. No, don't fight that. Let him on through. But we got a yellow in sector 3. It looks like a Williams of BKT has spun it. So all that work, I'm sorry, the Alpine of BKT. So all that work to cut his way up through the field, up to P6, as he's slowly back and forth. Folks, are we watching
Austin Powers?
Austin Powers right now. Yeah, exactly. You knew where I was going, BBJ.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah, that's the golf cart. Yeah, so bad news for BKT right there. You got to, it's not too late for a safety car to bunch everybody back up and get Ian back in this race. But yeah, bad luck for Ian right there. Of course, we missed the incident, didn't see what happened. Can only assume maybe just kind of like we said, turn 4, turn 22 type thing. Just touch the wall. Could have got one on an exit somewhere. But he's going to rejoin down there in P8. So let's reset the race here a little bit. Forensic from CRL started P2. Dropped down to P9, worked back up to P1. Looking really strong at the moment. Got Jack Fletcher from ZRL back behind him, 2 seconds back. You got 2 more ZRL drivers. You got Sid and Victor Diaz back there. And you got Novera, who's run a very quiet race. I believe Novera, if I'm not mistaken, actually started down bottom 4th of the grid, I believe. But he's up to P5 on the medium tires. And... running a great race. Hasn't picked up any penalties or anything. He's looking really good. Cushy P6, Stars CRL P7, Ian in P8, and then Dark just got around BKT for P9 and 10. We got a nice little race right here for P14. Look at this little battle heading down the back straightaway.
And they are not that far behind Dream and Beamer NG. Beamer's made up 5 spots since the start. Dark, even with his issue that he had. Oh, it's Big Mama Frank just sends it down the inside. Massive stones on that move. What an absolute dive. And he gets the move done, holds on to it, and now he is all over the back of Dream. He's been ready to put him. Oh, no, he puts him into the wall. And that has got to be a safety car, folks. Big Mama Frank was on an absolute tear, and just a little bit of contact, and that was the end for Dream, and it is a safety car. So advantage to everyone not named Forensic and Jack Fletcher, as now the entire field is going to be backed up. Big Mama Frank able to go right into the pits. Anomaly also goes into the pits, hit the wall on his way in for good measure. And is that a double stack on the Alpines? It is. That's going to be the Alpines getting out slowly. So now it's anyone's game.
What an incident there. It looks like they were weaving back and forth a little bit, and Big Mama Frank just didn't have a spot to go, and they just ended up coming together in catastrophic fashion. So that's going to put Dream out of the race. But now what I'm curious to see here is that safety car came out when the leaders were already past the pits. I know we're running a reduced speed right now, but I guess the reduced speed's not going to make that much of an impact there. But I was wondering if they would lose some track position there from the mid-pack. But what do you think? Do you come in for softs now, or do you stay out on mediums? I mean, what's Forensic going to do? 'Cause he's going to set the pace for the top 6 here.
You're going to have 3 laps to go. If you're Forensic, you stay out. I mean, you have to, right? If you're Jack Fletcher, you have to go in. If you're Victor, you're Sid, you have to go in. Forensic cannot react to what you do behind him, and he does stay out. So everyone else behind him needs to jump in the pits right now and be faster than him, because there's nothing he can do about it at this point.
And don't forget Ian down there just made that pit stop to fix his wing. He's got fresh soft tires on this. He may benefit from the pit stops here as well.
Sid does go into the pits. Jack and Victor are going to stay out.
So we're going to have, looks like maybe, depends on what Novera and Cushy do, but at least 3 drivers on medium tires here. I think if you're someone like Ian right now, you're sitting very pretty.
Jumps all the way up to P5 now. Does he come out ahead of Sid? And he and Sid are going to be it's going to be a little bit of a race, and Sid does get ahead. So you got Sid and Ian sitting real pretty with those brand new softs in P4 and P5.
And everybody's on softs behind him. So yeah, this is okay. So by the time the safety car comes in here, we're going to have maybe 3 racing laps. No DRS. We might get DRS on the last lap depending on when they come in. So this is going to be a race, folks. If you haven't got something cold to drink or something to chew on yet, go do it now, because end of this race is going to be quite nuts.
So, Jack, it seems like the call is to stay out and keep that track position, but you had such a big gap down to P4, and you've got those penalties if you're Jack Fletcher, and you're going from P2, and now you're going to be looking at potentially P6, P7, depending on how things shake out. Raz, that's got to be disappointed, right? Is Raz muted again?
It's hard to see that in the car, though, Revis, too. Sometimes your telemetry doesn't show you the gaps for the cars that far back, so you got to just take the info you got. But I think you're right. If you're sitting on the pit wall, that may have been a missed call right there for sure.
For sure. All right, so we're going to...
Is Raz back, or is he still on mute, or...
Has he fallen asleep?
Maybe he went and got something to drink. So, hey,
all right.
It's all good, man. We're going to pick this up. We'll see. The field is still very bunched out, so we're definitely going to go around at least one more time. If we were to get a restart lap after next, that would be lap 23. Now, that would give us 3 laps to go. Man, I'm thirsty now. I got to get me something to drink. This is great. Jeddah I'll just say this. For Jeddah, for all the hate that it got, last year leading up to it, like, dangerous, blah, blah. There was a lot of conversation. You've all read the Reddit stuff. You've read the Discord. So this track is so exciting to watch. In the game and in real life, right? I mean, add in the end of season drama from last year. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out this year, especially the cars that can follow closer with the the 22 cars. But man,
so much better.
It's a fun track. It's fun to drive too, because you're so intense driving the car. You really can't lose concentration at any point.
So right now the Mercedes drivers are sitting pretty, and they'll be P1 as far as the Constructors Championships. P2 would actually go to Aston Martin right now. So we're going to need a couple of ZRL drivers to step it up, or the Constructors lead is going to become quite insurmountable very quickly. There's rumors. I cannot confirm or deny. There's no scheduling yet, but this may end up being a series of sorts. And man, this is, for me, PBJ, this has been fun. Get to see some new drivers, get to challenge our drivers to something new, and man, I'd like to see this continue.
This is fantastic. This is great. We should do this. Definitely do this more often. I know the powers that be are always working on fun and exciting things like this, so it's cool to see it come to fruition. As the field is now completely bunched up, so if I were a virtual race director here, I would assume, but they say about assume, but I would assume we're going to go back to racing this time. So we have 3 laps to do this.
We'll find out here in just a second when they enter Sector 3. Big winners, big losers right now. CRL Dark is up 13 spots. Stars Ace FPS safety car is in this lap. Stars has moved up 10 spots. Big loser, Kale down in P16 has lost 13 spots. Started in P6. That's P3. That's a really rough time for him.
Yeah, that'll stuffing it in the barrier, knocking your wing off. We'll do that late in the race. So let's see what we got. We got the top 3 on medium tires. Can they hold off the entire field on softs? That's what we're going to find out. It's going to be Forensic leading them to the line. He's going to set the gap to the safety car, hold them back as long as you can so you don't get any benefit of slipstream down this front straightaway. Look at Victor Diaz peeking around the outside of Jack. Forensic's keeping his tires nice and warm. He's going to gun it right there. That's going to catch Jack Fletcher off guard just a little bit. Victor Diaz is going to go around the outside. Look at the run from the Haas. Who was that? Was that Ian? Ian's got to back out of it. Maybe got an illegal overtake right there, and he misses the corner for good measure. But you got side by side. It's McLaren versus it's Mercedes versus Red Bull, and it looks like I think the Red Bull maybe got. Mercedes goes around against him. What's going on?
It's just everything's happening at once. I don't know where to look. Ian picks up his first penalty, and that's bad news for him as he's got a big push here. Bring the timing back up. So Forensic's already got a 1.87 gap on him, and Ian has pushed his way up to P3 already. So Ian, the big winner in this, but he's got to watch out for that penalty. Jack with a 6-second penalty. Wonder if those two will work together to let Ian try to chase down Forensic here for the win.
Yeah, I think Jack and Victor, or it was Jack and Ian, wasn't it?
Sid's out of the race. Kale out of the race. 2 drivers, 15 and 16, both out of the race. 2 more DNFs, but no safety car. We're going to finish under green here, folks.
Yeah, that's bad news for Sid and sorry, whoever it was, Big Mama Frank's out of the session now too. So yeah, this is going to go run out to the end here. But I think that side by side from the
BKT out of the session. Victor Diaz is losing a ton of positions here. Victor is around. There's the Alpine of BKT who did all that work just to be out of the session. So now, folks, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers out. Only 12 remaining of the 19 we started with.
This is either checkers or wreckers at this point, dude. We're gonna just send it, everybody. Now, can Ian, with 2 laps to go here, can Ian run down? Actually, correction. There it is. 2 laps to go. It just flipped over. So 2 laps to go. 1.7 back. Soft tires.
Anomaly out of the session.
Tires. Everybody's just sending it right now. We're losing half the field here. I don't know. I mean, Ian's quick. Soft tires, fresh soft tires. He's got a 3-second gap. He's got to clear him with those well to get the win.
Jack with a 4.3 second lead already, so he may be able to be just quick enough to negate this penalty if he can keep it all clean. Zebra Strike moves up to P5. Dark takes a spot from Stars FPS for P6. Tom takes Stars is having an issue. Stars is dropping like a rock. He's dropped 2 positions there very quickly down to P9. So the Aston Martins that were sitting pretty in P7, P8 are now in P4 and P9.
Novera's made that P4. Novera's having that nice, clean, smooth race. But Raz, what do you think? Can Ian run down Forensic here on the final lap?
I mean, probably, but he's got 3 seconds, so it's a Forensic P1 for him, unless he spins it and he's a donut. So, yeah.
Ian already cut it to less than 1 second in the matter of 2 laps. He was 2 seconds behind. He gets around Jack Fletcher, and he's cut 1.1 seconds, and that time is just dropping. And like you said, Raz, even if he does overtake Forensic here and get him here as we start our final lap here in Jeddah, even if he does pass him, it's still P2 on track, but it's pride in the bank for Ian.
Well, I don't actually know what was going on, really. I mean, I was having some mic issues, and I couldn't hear you guys, so... But now, I mean, we're all good, and it looks like... I mean, is that 4 people that's DNF'd?
We just lost half the field. Don't worry, it's all good. So, no, but it's all good. So Ian's running down Forensic here. I think you're right, Raz. I mean, it's going to be one thing to get past him. It's going to be a whole other thing to build 3 seconds after that. So if you're Forensic, you just kind of run your race right here and finish on those medium tires. Jack Fletcher running a solid P3 right there. I don't think he has the gap to hold it with that penalty. Novera may take the podium here. And again, Novera with a great run starting in the bottom half of the field here. But right now we're watching Ian, and I guess the only question that remains is when this overtake happens, is it going to be clean? Is it we're going to have 2 cars on the track when it's all said and done? And you know, I'd like to think it would be. I don't think Ian's going to do anything like that. I'm not suggesting that he would. It's just sometimes these guys get aggressive, and you never know. Is Forensic going to defend too hard? Who knows? But we're going to have DRS going into the final corner, I believe. So let's see how this plays out. Ian in the Haas, he's going to get DRS. He's going to get the slipstream. He's going to get everything he needs to make a move into the ultimate final corner here. He's just going to back off, let it go. He's not going to push it. Oh, he hits him.
Oh, it's a repeat of the real race. It is a repeat of the real race, except the Mercedes in front and the Haas is the Red Bull behind. And they bump because he did not want to give them the DRS down the main straight and risk it. So it is Forensic across the line. He lets Ian go by. A little bit of an I'm sorry, my fault. So Forensic P1. Ian does cross the line first in P2. Jack Fletcher in P3, and take it from there, PBJ.
All right, looks like we got, crazy there on the final straightaway. Dark's going to bring it home P5, Victor Diaz P6. But the victory is going to go to Forensic. I mean, and a well-deserved victory, too. No penalties along the way. Got spun around on the first lap, did the recovery drive, did the right tire strategy, got back up front, held the gap on the medium tires. Great run from Ian as well to have that incident late in the race, make the early pit stop, benefactor of the safety car, comes back up, gets the P2. But I think driver of the day, I'm going to just think it might be Novera here. Let's see what the game tells us it's going to be, because he started at, down P12, 13, something like that. Gets the final spot. No, it's going to be Dark in the game. I didn't see where Dark actually finished, though. I know he had that late incident there, so we'll check the final standings. P7, a good drive for Dark as well.
That was nuts, especially after the safety car. That restart was just absolute madness. Like you said, I mean, it's the end of the race. You have to go for every little gap. You have to send it, just like Big Mama Frank sent it and then had that unfortunate incident with the McLaren. Like, you've got to do something at the end. You can't just sit there and be happy, or as, you know, to quote Senna, you're no longer a racing driver. That's what these guys do. Most of the time it's clean, but mistakes do happen. But man, track like this, it's hard to pass, but we did see a lot of overtakes today.
Yeah, I think my personal driver of the day, I'm going to give it Novera right there. Starting P14, finishing third, no penalties. Great drive from him. Forensic gets the win, Ian P2. Let's look at the CRL versus ZRL. I mean, you got 4 CRLs in the top 10, 6 ZRLs in the top 10. So I think, is it too early to suggest? I know there's, penalties and stuff, but maybe ZRL got a slight advantage in this first race.
Yeah, we'll have to see once the scoring comes in.
I'm actually doing the scoring now. For CRL, they got 47, but yeah, I mean, anything could change.
Fantastic. Are we doing driver interviews today, or?
We'll see. The only person we have, we'll see if we can get Hudson Poole in here, Forensic in P1. We'll see if we can get Ian in here. Neither one of them in the broadcast booth, but Gibbs is still in here with us. Gibbs, you able? Give Gibbs just.
Hello, I'm here.
Well, Gibbs, what did you think about that finish? Wow, that was pretty nuts under the safety car, yeah?
Yeah, that was intense, man. As Jeddah, some incidents, as usual, but so great race to watch, man. Really exciting.
I think that was...
I think...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, I think, Forensic did a great job just displaying his racecraft and his pace there. Ended up getting the win back in the end. It was, I don't think we could have scripted. We could have had a realistic moment like that on the back straightaway with the driver running into another one. But I think, Revis, I think you called it right. I think maybe there was just a little bit of, maybe Forensic didn't want to give him the DRS onto the front straightaway, and Ian had the run behind, and it was nothing malicious there. And
I do have confirmation now from Forensic. My bad, mate, was trying to let you by so I can get DRS. So it was a little trickery, little strategery there, and same as the real race. Didn't turn out very well, but at the end of the day, they still finished 1-2. So no harm, no foul. They'll both be fine.
There you go. So Gibbs, are we going to see more of this in the future, brother?
Oh, in my opinion, yeah, we should do this as much as we can.
I think that'd be fantastic to see, and I'm looking forward to it. Raz, any final thoughts for this race?
You're
still doing math over there. Did I call you out too early?
Yep, I'm still trying to do the maths. My brain's not really thinking, but yeah, I mean, quite a good race for Novera, coming P14. He had no penalties in the end, so really good job from him. Dark, he had quite a good race, coming from P19, but having 12 seconds. But yeah, and I've actually now done the calculations.
Oh, we're eager to hear what they are.
would you guys like to hear?
Absolutely. Please lay it on
Absolutely.
us, brother.
Right, so we've got 47 and 54 points split.
Or
The
who?
winner goes to, let's have a little drum roll if we can.
I don't think my
It
mic
goes
picked
to
it up enough.
ZRL.
There you go. ZRL
Wow.
picking up the first event.
That's
Very
1
tight though.
0.
Look how
crazy.
close that was. I mean, that's great. I mean, both teams did very well.
That's really incredible. So, Gibbs, you guys are getting ready to do your giveaway over on your Twitch stream. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll be running the giveaway soon. So anyone who wants to join, please welcome to join our Twitch, and we'll be running it in a few minutes. And congratulations to ZRL, so great.
Really fun time. Thanks for having us. Hey, Zoom Racing League, if you guys are still watching on our stream, we're going to have some interviews here in a second. We're going to grab Ian first and P2, and then we'll talk to Hudson right after that. But in the chat right there is the Twitch link. Jump over right now. You can come back and watch these interviews later if you want to. But go over there, support them, tell them thanks for having us, and try to get in on that. And it is a 3-month code if you're brand new to iRacing to get you into iRacing for 3 months. Tons of free content, tons of stuff you can do. Be like my man PBJ, go run some dirt, run some ovals, get into the GT3 cars. The W12 is there if you want to spend a little bit of money. You can drive last year's Mercedes car in iRacing, and that is a free giveaway they're doing over on their Twitch right now. So head over there, follow them, drop a comment, tell them you're from ZRL, and good luck with the giveaway. Gibbs, thank you so much, man. It was a great night.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. I'll be publishing our results soon also on our channel. And thank you very much. I hope we can do that more of those on the future. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gibbs.
All right, so PBJ, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. This guy's really fast, and he's probably going to do something to annoy me. But he made me super proud today. He did ZRL a solid. He had a really good race. Had some wing damage early on right before the safety car, but it ended up working out on those soft tires. And the man who finished in P2 won. Ian Krager. Great race, buddy. Was that fun?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, that was a great race, Ian. Dude, we were rooting for you the whole time. We couldn't officially do it on the stream, but I was pulling for you, brother. It was a great race. Tell us, obviously you started on the soft tire, started on the pole. Looks like you and Forensic, they had a little come together in turn one on the first lap. Then you kind of held the gap for a while, but then that safety car came out, threw everybody on the medium tires, and from that point on, you were under constant pressure. Walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to keep him back, and since there's 3 DRS I said, why don't I just let him go and be in his DRS, and then he can pull me along. He waits his DRS, I was going off of it. At the end of the race, I can just go right past it.
Got it. Yeah. So what happened in sector 2 that caused you to hit the pit stop? Was it a wall contact in one of the corners?
Yeah, it was wall contact, just the slightest amount, and I was losing so much time.
Yeah, it looks like it worked out almost to your benefit. The safety car came out that same lap, so it didn't hurt you too bad. You were able to get on the soft tires for everybody else. Even picked up a few positions under the pit stops there. It was exciting to watch that toward the end, though. You guys had a little run there in the last 3 laps, and I know that we saw the incident just like in the real world happen on the straightaway heading into the last corner. But yeah, that was exciting to watch, man.
Yeah, I got in a really good start on the safety car, but then I got an illegal overtake, so I had to give it back.
That's frustrating for sure.
I
Yeah,
saw that too. Yeah, well, great drive, man. Great result. You made us all proud, and I mean that's such a hard track to do consistently well at, and you did it. So great job, brother.
sure.
All right, we'll drop Ian back down here, and we will talk to Forensic, the man we know in ZRL's Hudson Pool. But Forensic gets the win. You're right there in the mix the whole time. Had a little bit of an issue earlier on where you dropped back a few spots, but the pace was there. We know it's there. We know you're super quick. So from your perspective, how did that race go? Was it as chaotic up front as it was at the back?
Yeah, I wanted to stick behind him for the beginning of the race, and then I got hit from behind. I can't remember what lap it was, and I think I came back in P10 or P8. Got a couple of overtakes, and then I was leading Ian in front of me. He was or I was leading Ian. He was behind me, and all of a sudden he started dropping off really quick. I think he got foaming damage or something like that.
Mm-hmm. He
And I
did.
started pulling away. Yep, and And then the safety car happened, and I was struggling to like choose if I should go back to the softs. But I already had used softs, so I was like, I'll stay out. And yeah, that incident, uh, that was obviously my fault. I tried to move to the side to get him to have a DR, or I would have DRS, and then he moved with me. So
Yeah, we caught it live, and I was telling PBJ it looked exactly like the incident when Max tried to give
yep,
the spot back, and except it was
Yeah,
the
that
Mercedes in front and a Haas behind.
that
yep,
tends to happen at this track, doesn't it?
yep. It was a good race, but I think that was probably my fault there at the end. But
Yeah, it's all good, man. It worked out in the end, but I think what I'm curious to hear about from your race is obviously you had that contact with the other CRL driver right behind you going into turn one early in the race. You had a massive recovery drive there, leading up to that safety car, where then you got the positions back even more. But I mean, walk us through that first stint a little bit. Just obviously you had the early pit stop, you had to make the tire change, or you had to make a wing change. Or no, I'm sorry, you didn't make any change. You didn't make a pit stop. You just got spun around. I'm sorry, but yeah, you still had to make that recovery drive and doing those overtakes along the way. I mean, just walk us through that from your perspective.
yeah, I went on to, I think it was before the first pit stop happened. I got spun, and I think P10 or P8, I came back in and I was just sticking behind people. And for the first few overtakes, I just used my ERS to get past them. And then after that, we would go around the S's after uh, the hard left-hander, and people would be battling, and I would improvise off of that. And I got a few switchbacks, which really helped.
Awesome. Great drive, man. Great result. You did really well tonight. Obviously, with the recovery drive, getting the win. Fantastic result, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us here from Jeddah. This is the same track we're racing at this weekend for Zoom Racing League. Academy race is Friday night. Saturday, we do Division 2 and 3. And Sunday night, the big boys fire it up. A lot of the drivers you saw here tonight will be racing in Division 1. Raz, you're going to be in the D3 race here. Was there anything that some of our drivers can learn from not only being in this race, but kind of watching what this little league versus league battle played out?
Keep focus. Don't be an idiot, and run wide. And yeah,
All right. Any
so I've
closing
got.
thoughts? Any closing thoughts there from you, Raz? Any surprises?
Not really. I mean, Kushi did a quite good job. I mean, he was probably like the slowest person on track out of everyone, but he did quite a good job. Coming P5. So I mean, but not really much to go there. I mean, Hudson won. I mean, I was expecting that, but yeah, there's not much else to say really.
All right, PBJ. What about you? Any surprises there, or is that a little bit what we expected? We got a lot of fast guys there, a lot of fast guys here. I think it was a good mix of racing.
Yeah, absolutely, it was a good mix of racing. I mean, this was fun. I mean, I'm just, you never know what you're going to get in a race sometimes, but the drivers are great, the track's great. You put them together, you get something fantastic. So I think this was a great event. Thanks to our league admins and both league drivers for taking time out of their Wednesdays to come out and do this event. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and we can do more of this in the future.
Absolutely. So that is PBJ. That is Raz. I'm Toto Rivas. This has been Zoom Racing League versus Champs Racing League battle. Our first round here at Jeddah. No other rounds announced yet, but be paying attention to both Discords. We've got the link to their Discord in our chat. I'm going to drop it again here just momentarily. And then we also have the link to our Discord there in the description. So even if you're not interested in racing, you just want to hang out with some cool folks that do cool stuff. We also do ACC. We do iRacing. There's some people that run Assetto Corsa. Sometimes we play other games like Tarkov and I don't know, whatever the shooters you kids play now. Fortnites, Fortnites are still a thing? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do, even if you're not a racer. You just want to hang out. You want to try your hand at broadcasting. We've got some great folks that can help you learn how to do that. And I actually broadcast more than I drive now in Zoom Racing League, and I'm fine with it because it's fun. I get to hang out with my buddies, and it's a good time. So check out both leagues. If you have any questions, hit up an admin, and we hope to see you again very soon here in Zoom Racing League. Good night, folks.